In 1965, our family went to Ireland for the first time. Tom and I, my mother, Mary, and Kathleen. Of course, Tom had been there with his mother when he was in high school, but he didn't get very far from Thurles, Tipperary, his family's hometown. Our family did a lot of sightseeing, and here are some of the pictures. Roll the film. This is our first trip to Ireland, and we were all thrilled to death. Our first stop was the South County Hotel. Very attractive, very modern, and it was a nice place to be. The only problem originally, was that it was completely across the city from the airport. This was our view from our window. Lovely garden and the hills in the background. Quite a thrill to wake up in the morning and look out the window to such a lovely view. My first sight of an ocean liner, the harbor at Bray. Another thrill, an ocean liner and the ocean. This is the little town of Bray. It's a seaside resort, very popular, and our family was so happy to be here. It was bright. Clouds were always beautiful, and the girls absolutely enjoyed leaping among the rocks. Of course, Mother and I were always afraid they were going to break their neck, but it was good. We did quite a bit of driving in the car, and to get out and gallop around was very good for them, and we enjoyed the fact that the girls were enjoying themselves. I couldn't resist that picture because it was a castle at the top of the hill. One of our most beautiful scenes of Ireland, the patterns. Patterns, as you know, are made up of rocks covered by shrubbery. This ancient place of Glendalough, founded by St. Kevin in the 7th century, was another exciting event for us. To wander among the old tombstones, to see St. Kevin's kitchen, which was really a church here in his time. This was a monastic settlement, and Mary looked through one of the little peepholes there. In this settlement, the art of learning was kept alive during the dark ages on the European continent. There was quite a group of buildings here, old churches. Beautiful round tower, one of the most perfect anywhere, and all surrounded by the Wicklow Hills. A cow jam. Cows have the right of way. But it's fun to wait until they get by. Who's in a hurry? Of course, we had to go to Killarney. Pattern, lovely hill. And the clouds rest on the hills around Killarney in the most magnificent way. The winds off the ocean are brisk and clean. Makes you want to take deep breaths and just enjoy it. is one of the prettiest sights anywhere. It's along the Ring of Kerry, and this old bridge stands there. Very attractive. Nobody there. Drove our little car up, wandered around the area, enjoying the sun and the beauty all around. And no worries, no cares. As you see, the girls were full of pep. Rather cold and misty. You could never discourage Tom. This was one of the real thrills of the world for him, to be back in Ireland with his family and introducing to them all the lovely spots. We were at the Hotel Europe at this time, the most magnificent hotel owned by Germans. Every convenience and very beautiful. But the day, as you see, was a little dark. Watching lovely sunset from our balcony at the Europe Hotel. Ah, ladies' view. Our first view, and unfortunately a dark view, but at the time that didn't bother us at all. We thought it was fantastic. Mother enjoyed it, and Tom, feeling very formal at that time in a suit coat and tie. Of course, most of the men in Ireland wear suit coats, even on the farm. Fantastic stone arch in the road. What a pleasure to drive through it, like a picture frame. More of the lovely area around the Ring of Kerry. Torque Falls, scenic attraction every tourist has to go to. You have to climb quite a way to get up here, but definitely worth the trip. And Kathleen and Mary loved it. Take Kearney's Cottage at the Gap of Dunlow, where you can go horseback riding through the gap. Another wet and rainy day, but a real thrill for the girls who galloped along the road. The spectacular scenery all around them. And Tom had to baptize his blackthorn walking stick in the lakes of Killarney. Hi down. Kathy and Mary had to see what it was all about, and Mary sort of baptized Kathleen. Of course, we had to go to Blarney Castle. Again, our first time. Mother and I were not quite up to the long climb to the top of the castle, which is about 12 stories high. But Kathleen, Mary, and Tom did. Of course, you have to kiss the Blarney Stone, which is set on the walls. And to kiss it, you have to lean way back and kiss it. In the early days, when there was no protection, no grill, some people had fallen through. Now they have a metal grill there, so you can't hurt yourself. And each time we've been there, there's been a most gracious gentleman who helps us down, so we can kiss the Blarney Stone. Kathleen and Mary. A bit of an ordeal, I must say. It's something that is you just have to do. You can see the grill that is protecting the people who try to kiss the stone. A long way up and a long way down. This is King John's Castle in Limerick. A massive pile of rocks right on the river, because the king had to guard the river, not only to get tribute from people who were passing by, but to see that none of his enemies were coming. One of the beautiful cathedrals and the Treaty Stone, which we saw for the first time. Treaty Stone on which the British and the Irish signed a treaty of peace, and the British broke it within a few days. So the Irish enshrined it there so no one would ever forget the treachery. Lovely scene, bridge, the castle, and a beautiful church in the background. Bridges in Ireland are so graceful. They are a joy to come upon. This is typical of Irish town. And this is the bridge over the river. And now we're going to Bunratty Castle. At Bunratty, which has been completely restored, they have banquets, and visitors are invited. They have song and story, and you eat the food that they eat centuries ago, and you drink their Irish mead, and there is all kinds of entertainment that is most interesting. Costumes are colorful and beautiful. We're at the Shannon Shamrock Inn, which is next door to Bunratty Castle. They have a folk park there with animals, with cottages that were typical of those lived in years ago. And they have many of the arts and crafts that were practiced at that time. Mother enjoyed it. She really did. Something so different. I think it's the first time she had ever traveled. And after all, I'm here doing more baptizing at Blackstone sticks all out of baptizing. Kathleen looked very pretty that day. She had bought a new little tam, an Irish tam. Clouds in Ireland hang on the mountains. And we stop the car from time to time and walk the area. Share the area with the animals. Just don't get too close. There are little spots here and there too where you can stop for tea. And always outside, the lovely view. We're in Connemara now, and that's where the Connemara marble comes from. Even though we had seen many pieces in the shops for sale, Mary thought, with all that Connemara marble available, why not pick up a piece? So she did. Connemara is very rugged, very rocky. In this area, much of the peat, the fuel, is collected. The men spade it up, and then they leave it to dry. Look at Kylemore Abbey. Where could you find a more beautiful sight? Today, this is a girls' school, and it's set high in the Connemara Hills. Kylemore Abbey. Girls come from all over the world to go to school here. What a privilege. It is a must-stop for all the tourists. Kathleen, sailing over the hills. Now we're coming to Rock of Cashel, that lovely collection of ancient monastic buildings set high on the hills. Originally, there was a huge church there, Cormac's Chapel, a gem of a building, high crosses, and a monastery. When you come upon it from far away, it looks like a bit of Camelot, a fairy tale area. We went high on the top of the cathedral, which had no roof, and all the interior floors had rotted away, so all what was left was the exterior walls, and it was a long way down, and all around beautiful hills. The bishop, who was in that area at the time, decided that the Rock of Cashel was too high, too far up to go each day. So he took the roof off of the church and built a church down below on the land. And in that way, this beautiful church was left to decay. Parts of it have fallen off from time to time, too. So it's nothing but a ruin, but what a magnificent ruin. The high cross, so impressive. These are private family tombs. And in the year 1980, a terrific wind came and shattered this high cross. It is hoped they will rebuild it, but it is a private family tomb, we are not sure. And this is the coronation stone where the kings of Munster were crowned through the centuries. It's here that St. Patrick crowned one of the kings of Munster. And we are coming into Thurles, and this says, "Welcome to Thurles." Tom was a bit emotional, as you can see. The cathedral at Thurles, almost 100 years old, but in fantastic condition, beautiful. Architecturally very lovely, and inside very functional. We came to Mass here the first Sunday. This is one of the towers set on a bridge. Sort of a watchtower, too. Again, these towns all needed fortifications of some kind in case of problems. Crossing the river shore. They have a little garden path that goes along the river, too. One of the few children's playgrounds we saw anywhere in Ireland. It was one of the better ones, too. I guess most Irish people feel that children don't need playgrounds. They have so much beautiful land to wander around in. The Slatteries belonged to Tom's Aunt Kit. She had sold it not too long before. And this is their little square. Yeah, These are all the little shops in town. And there's Slattery's. Cathedral in the background. And the Hayes Hotel where we stayed, and my poor mother nearly froze to death. When we said something about the heat, they said, "What heat?" Oh, this is where Tom stayed when he was in Ireland for the first time. His aunt owned this. It was a two-story building. It was called the Cash Drapery. Tom had stayed out at the farm for a while, but he didn't care too much for that. It was much nicer in the city. Horse and Jockey is merely a crossroads, but it's important because it has long been a traveler stop on the way to Dublin. The tavern there has been owned by the O'Keefe family for generations, and the O'Keefes are related to the Fogartys. The night before Tom's father left for America, he and his brother John met there to have a last drink with their cousin, Dick O'Keefe. They all promised to come back and have another celebration when they had made their fortunes in America. Well, Dick O'Keefe, with 20 children to support, never got away, and neither Tom's dad or his brother ever got back. But Tom and I sat at the same table they used with Bill O'Keefe, Dick's son, to talk about the family. Holy Cross Abbey, where some of the Fogarty family are buried, especially Mary Fogarty. Now we are at Castle Fogarty, this most impressive ruin. It really wouldn't have been a ruin, except that in 1921, the Black and Tans were quartered in this beautiful building, and the people in the area found out about it, and they burned it. Something like 100 beautiful rooms, gorgeously furnished, all gutted. Quite a terrible thing to have happened. So now we have just the ruins, and there is the motto of the Fogartys, feast and welcome. What a beautiful crest. And it's so nice to know the Fogartys had a beautiful castle like this at one time. The Ryan children were cousins of Tom. Josie married John Ryan, and these are their two children, Bridget and Caroline. There's a little family group with Tom's aunt and Margaret, the two girls, and little Larry, too. You can see how heavy the vines are. The people who own this castle think there's nothing holding it up but the vines because they're so strong and heavy. The back part of the castle has been renovated to a certain extent, enough to have a few rooms there which are livable. We brought some of the boys along at that time. That was John Ryan and Eddie Slattery. It was Tom and John Ryan's little boy, Larry. Bridget and Caroline were having a lovely time. They enjoyed running around, and I enjoyed being with them. We are in Dublin, and we're going to go from here to London to take the plane back to America. Yes, now we are in England, ready to take the plane back to America. Tom and I and the girls. It's been a fantastic trip. We loved every minute of it. Coming back, crossing Chicago. Tom and I have never been able to identify the areas, except of course the lakefront, which is anyone can identify. At that time it was good to be home. We'd been away so long. We had been to London and Paris, Ireland, and now it was time to come home. Of course, we brought back many things: Irish sweaters, glassware, souvenirs of all kinds, and Irish liquor. Liquor at that time was so inexpensive. I think it was about $2 for a bottle of Irish whiskey. Nowadays in America, right here, in fact in Ireland, it was selling for about $15 a bottle. At home here, we can get it for about $12. Down we come. We'd had a circle quite a bit, so we were very glad when the landing wheels finally set down. Oh, O'Hare Airport. It was warm here in Fort Tom after the lovely, cool 40s and 50s of Ireland. I was dying of heat. Joe came to pick us up, and he thought, oh my God, all that luggage, where am I going to put it? But he was glad to see us, too. When we unpacked that luggage when we got home, it was still ice cold. But he packed us all in, and that was the end of our lovely, lovely trip. Bye now. Between the years of 1965 and 1981, Tom and I visited Ireland 6 times. On our first trip in 1965, my mother, Mrs. Evelyn Lincoln, and our 2 daughters, Mary and Kathleen, were with us. These are the family pictures we took on those trips. Roll the film. This is the coat of arms of the Fogarty family, who are descended from the early kings of Ireland. Their motto, feast and welcome. We had a rather difficult time finding this tiny little boreen that led us into the Slattery farm. It looks very soft on either side, but it wasn't. There's rock underneath. And who was welcoming us but Uncle Tom Slattery? It was so good to see him. His daughter Margaret. And behind, the old family farm. My mother coming out with Tom. Uncle Tom's wife, Josie, with little Caroline. Caroline's mother, Josephine, was in the hospital with her 3rd child. Behind, Marietta Slattery, that's me. And Ann Kip in the background, and Marietta there. Caroline. Uncle Tom and Old Tom and Young Tom, as they said in Ireland for many years. Me, Marietta, Josie, my mother enjoying it all, Margaret, Marietta, and Caroline. You can see it was laundry day. That's because young Caroline was staying. And Kit was so happy to see us. Mother and Aunt Kit got along beautifully. Philomena, Caroline, Margaret, Caroline, and Marietta. Josie made us most welcome. Uncle Tom wanted to make everyone happy, so he brought the horse out. Considering he's 80 years old, that was a little shaky thing for him to do. Kathy was used to riding horses, so she was rather comfortable on him. However, Philomena somehow got the horse very upset, and Josie had to actually come and calm down the horse. Uncle Tom, just a charming gentleman. See the little grin? And Kit, what a lovely lady. Josie and I got along beautifully. Little Caroline, a doll. Philomena had another farm animal for everyone to try. Well, Caroline enjoyed the ride. Mary had a little problem getting up there, and once she was there, she wasn't very happy. I think the little donkey didn't care too much to have her on either, so she was very happy to have someone help her off. Our dramatic Mary. Margaret. Now you can see the old farmhouse again. And Kit had her arm around Tom. She was so pleased that he was there. Hi there, she says. Leave. We went out into the fields. The two men were there, Eddie and John, who is Josie's husband. Tom wanted to show off with his ability to pitch the hay. When he was a young boy, he had been here, and he had pitched the hay then, and he felt he could still do it. All of us sat out in the shadow of the haystack. It was John and Eddie. The girls all try to play King of the Hill, or shall we say Queen of the Hill. Isn't that a lovely view with the cloud formations behind? What a nice place to grow up. Mary? Aha, who is the biggest and strongest? No doubt. Philomena won. New equipment on the farm. Everyone had to inspect it. Little view of the farm, and far in the distance a very famous place called the Devil's Spit. They say the devil took that piece out of that hill, spit it out, and became the Rock of Cashel. We'll tell you about that someday. Ah, the farm equipment is pretty sturdy. It's lifting all our girls very easily. Kathy, Margaret, Philomena, and Mary. Now, Tom and I had to have a little lift. Oh, dear. I must say I enjoyed our later trips. Traveling with two daughters was a bit of a problem. Beautiful scene. Eddie, the shy one. Even yet, and it's now 1983, he is not married. Tom shaking hands with John and Eddie. Slattery Castle, now called Balnahoe Castle. It is preserved by the government right now as a national monument. It's one of the most perfect round towers. The Slattery family lived here at one time. You can go all the way up to the top. And the girls did, as you see. A rainbow. Now, our 1969 trip. Now we have Des Culla, who is now in the family. He has married Philomena. These two little darling little children are Bridget and Caroline, who are Josephine's two children. They're two older girls, and they have learned how to do step dancing. Now here's Josephine. This is our first look at Josephine. And Margaret, you see Margaret in the white blouse. And these are two of the little, one is Larry, who is a Ryan, and the other one is a Culla child. Philomena has married Des Culla. And I'm holding one of the Cullas, little MP, Matthew Patrick. Little Donka, who is the oldest, is with his grandmother. Oh, waving merrily. MP waved too. That's John Ryan on the end. Des Culla, and the other gentleman on the right, the boy and young man in the middle, is Eddie. Caroline and Philomena. Now here is our little, this is Caroline on the side, and it's Bridget on the other. The taller one is Bridget, and they are doing their little step dancing. Their grandmother is standing behind singing the little Irish song so they can dance to it. Aren't they pretty? Oh, look at that heel work. Now here's the Ryan family, Josephine and John and their three children, Caroline, Larry, and Bridget. Now Des is the Culla family. There's Philomena and there's Des. And they're carrying Tom, MP, and Donica. Donica, the oldest. The name Donica means Dennis. Children are full of pep, healthy, and so full of fun. Come at the farm? It's a Sunday, and all the young men in the family are beautifully dressed. Don't they look handsome? This is the back where the cows and the various animals are. Now I'm bringing out Eddie and Des Culla. Eddie has a red tie, Des Culla has a blue. I'm wearing my Irish sweater that Josie had knit for me. Here I am with Margaret. The little girl is Caroline, and the other little girl is Margaret. The children are growing up. Yes, indeed. There's Bridget Ryan, and in the center, their new little sister. What is her name? Let me see. I'll figure it out pretty soon. She is a little darling, though. She's Claire. Isn't she charming? And there I am with Larry, the little boy of the family at the time. We had sent that little suit from the United States. It had a zipper on it, which surprised him very much. Most of the children did not have zippers. Here are the three Culla children, Donka, MP, and Tom. See how they've grown since the last film. And Margaret, isn't she a lovely girl? She is a twin with Philomena, but they are not identical twins. Josie's mother, Mrs. Maher, dropped in for the day, and he was so happy to see her. Charming lady. And our Josie, always generous and kind, and so hospitable. She always made us feel so welcome. Now two of our men again, Eddie and Des Culla. Des Culla at this time was racing greyhounds. And lovely Philomena matured quite a bit from the little tomboy we saw pushing people off the haystack. And Josephine with her husband John. Lovely, lovely couple. They are living on his family's farm. This is a family gathering, and nobody stood still long enough really for me to identify them, but they're all there, and everybody seemed to have a very nice time. Now we are building a new home. Yes, indeed. And we are in the process at this time. Josie said it took an awful long time, but she said she lived in the old home so long, she really didn't make too much difference. But it has 3 or 4 bedrooms, and it has a washroom, lovely kitchen, and it's definitely a step up. Yes. Culla children, of course, always doing something unusual. A place like this is a joy for them. Little Claire Ryan, such a doll. She looked very much like her sister Caroline at first. Mrs. Maher and Josephine, look at the apple tree behind them. Josie made us a lovely apple pie. Now, with the Fogarty side of the family, Dennis Fogarty and Alice, we were so pleased. We were in Dublin now, and this is their son John, the only unmarried member of the family at this date. We're at Howth. It was the Fogarty family took us down here for a very lovely afternoon. We walked the area, and then they took us to a lovely restaurant, so we had a beautiful day. John is so friendly and so nice. He travels all over Europe. Now we're going to the old Fogarty homestead and the O'Dwyer family. This is the farm where Tom's father was born and where he lived all his life until he left for America. And here is Tom in the door. We're so glad we got this picture because shortly after this part of the farm was torn down. You can see how beautiful the Fogarty farm is now. It's a beautiful modern house. And they have cows, and they raise greyhounds too. And Annie, Michael Dwyer's wife, who is standing right there, is a tremendous cook and housekeeper. This is some of the family. They have 6 children. Now these are some of the members of the family, both Tom's cousins, and this is Annie, and that's little Laura there, who I wrote to for a long time. She loved to collect stamps. And that's Michael and Bridleen, the oldest girl. She's now in Dublin working. Some of the men in the family. There were, in the distance, you can see Slattery Castle. Anne and Michael O'Dwyer, who live there, have 6 children. And the young person coming behind, sending them in, believe it or not, is a girl, Cara, but she's absolutely beautiful. But she loves the farm. She doesn't want to go away. Now we're back to the new Slattery home. That's Danka Culla, and there's his mother. And this is the 2 cousins, Danka and the little, I think it's, what is her name? Claire. Yeah, Danka and Claire dancing. They're not quite in synchronization, but everybody's having a lovely time. It's very casual, let me tell you. And that was Josie. Now, this is the new member of our family. This is John Stakelum, who married Margaret. And this is little Desmond. Yes, indeed. Now we're going to Holy Cross and meet some of the other members of the family. We're going to see the O'Keefes and Horse and Jockey. Horse and Jockey, this is Holy Cross Abbey, a very, very old abbey, which has been being restored the last, I'd say 10 years. Here's Tom coming through the door. We have followed the restoration of it. These are tinkers who are wandering around. We always enjoy watching them. And this is the O'Keefes, Bill and Maureen. Bill's father and Tom's father had a last drink before Tom's father went to America. Now we're in the square at Thurles. In the square, we're on the Shure River now, right near Holy Cross. This is Tom and Holy Cross Abbey, alongside the banks. Those are the ruins. Tom had his walking stick, and he always enjoys walking along rippling rivers. They look very handsome. One of our little cars. See how tiny the cars are that we drove in Ireland? Very tiny, but very, very adequate. And what are we doing? Looking at the engine? Heavens no, we're getting the luggage. We're at the airport. Engine is in the back. We're going home. This is always the saddest part for Tom. He always loves every moment in Ireland. Aer Lingus, Irish Airlines. We try to take it whenever possible. Now, 1979. Slattery's and the O'Dwyers. Now let's see who we meet today. Ah, yes. We're at the Slattery farm. It is pretty well finished. It looks very nice, and they are very happy in it. television antenna, no less. And here is Margaret and John Stakelum with their little children. They have 3 charming children. Merritt, Joan, and Bridie May. Little Merritt, the oldest one, was born with spinal bifida, and she's gone through many operations. Rosie's so happy with her grandchildren around here. There's Josephine with some of her children. Now here's Josephine with all her family. At that time, Josephine had Bridget, Caroline, Larry, Claire, and Tom. And they were lovely children, growing up beautifully, each one different, but a real joy. Such a happy family. Now we're with the Desculla family. Donka's the oldest. Now, at the present time, she has 8 children. Then she only had 6. Donka, Tom, MP, Matthew, Patrick, Eamon, Desmond, and Liam. Aren't they just charming children? There's Philomena with her mother. And that's Bridget Ryan. She was feeling full of pep. Oh, that gentleman in the back. I don't know whether you noticed him, but he was Mary Edith's husband. He's from India. With it. And some of the children. All the children play together beautifully, get along, and anytime Mama's needed and Grandma's needed, the children are there. They not only are happy to be there, but they help Grandmother quite a bit. Now we're visiting the O'Dwyers again. There I am. There's Ann. This is Tom's cousin, Michael. His other cousin, Julie. Her daughter, Mary, and his cousin, Bridie. They are the Ryans. And this is Pat Maloney, a very handsome gentleman. Now, this is now 1981, and we have been invited to visit the home of Philomena and Des Culla. At this time, Philomena has 8 children. Donka, Tom, MP, Eamon, Desmond, Liam, Bobby, and Seamus. At that time, however, she was expecting her twins, which were born several months later. These are very bright children. They had just won a nationally televised sports quiz and had been awarded a television recorder. This is Des. He was very busy this day with his cows. Now we're at the O'Dwyers, and there's Laura, Billy, and Annie. They are much involved with greyhounds. They race them in Ireland, and Billy has also brought them over to the United States. Very handsome young man. That's Annie, and that's Julie, and that's Mary Maloney. We met her daughter when we first came to Ireland. Now we're at the wedding of Jared Fogarty, the youngest of the Fogarty children. He is marrying Mary Hayes, who is coming to the church in a silver Rolls Royce with red roses on the hood. Her father, Patrick, is a contractor from Cork. Lovely girl. This is Jared, Mary, and that is John Fogarty, and there's Annie O'Dwyer, Dennis Fogarty, and Michael O'Dwyer. It was so nice to get the whole family together like that. And there's Mary, Madge, and this is some of the wedding party. And this is the actual Fogarty family. Raymond and Jill, Dennis Jr. and Madge, Alice, Jared, Mary, Dennis, John, Peter, and Eileen, and Mary, who was a Fogarty with her husband, Declan Brennan. All of the family have many children, so it's a very large, happy family. There's Madge. There's 2 of Annie's sisters. Now here's Annie and Michael. And here I am at the wedding. They didn't see each other too much, so it's real nice that they got together. It was a nice family group there. I hope to come back in a few years with more. This is a continuation of our family album of pictures from Ireland. These were taken in August 1985. Roll the film. Here we are in Ireland, and Tom is pointing to these signs and points to Balnahoe Castle, which was Slattery Castle. It's a public landmark. Slatterys used to live there. Now we're in the Slattery new home. And here I am bringing out some of the family. This is Eddie, of course, and Danka. This is Danka Philomena's, one of the older boys. Philomena has 9 children. There's Eddie, Eddie Slattery. And this is little Mary Ryan. Philomena and Mary Ryan with one of the Slattery children. I think it's Liam. And in the background, Eamon and Desmond. And here is Josephine Ryan. And her daughter is holding little Mary Culla. And of course, Josie. Here's Philomena with her twins, who are really a handful. They are Bobby and Samus, and they're really full of pep. Josie's trying to help out. In the front is also Eamon. Eddie with some of the children. Doc is quite a boy. And quite a hairdo. I brought them all T-shirts, so you can see some of them are Star Wars. They are all charming, healthy children, and I'm so happy that they have such a nice house now, too. At one time, they lived in the old family house. Tom is there. Danka. That could be our little car in the background. It was a very tiny little car, but it got us where we wanted to go. Danka and Tom. Josephine Ryan. Philomena. Josie. Mary Ryan. And that's Maggie Culla, the baby. Number 9 of the family and the only girl. Some of the children. Someday I'm going to get them sweatshirts with their names on, so I'll remember. This is Lochmore Cemetery, where the Fogarty family are buried. Tom's grandfather, his grandmother, his 2 aunts, Mary and Catherine, are both buried there. You can see the remains of the old church behind the new grounds. And in the background is Purcell Castle. The new cemetery and church are beautiful, but the old are very neglected and not cared for at all. Stones are all mottled. Very difficult walking and trying to find exactly where your family are buried. Purcell Castle is a ruin, as you can see. But those ruins are stunning, and I hear the actual stones from the family graves. Tom's grandfather John, and his mother Bridget Maher Fogarty. Now we are at the O'Dwyers, which was the Fogarty family home. Tom's aunt married an O'Dwyer, Willie O'Dwyer, and now Annie and Michael have the home there, and they've taken beautiful care of it. Way in the background is the Slattery Castle. That's Annie O'Dwyer. And this is some of the fun. It's Tom's cousin Mary. The O'Dwyer group. Mary. There I am. And in back, I'm just a relative, a friend. There's Bridie Ryan, now. But he's going. Bride leans back there. And other members of the family. This lady is from Ireland. Comes back every year, even though she lives in the United States now. Mary Mahoney, Tom's cousin. Willie. And now this is Michael. Dear Michael, what a lovely man. There I am with one of the gorgeous roses on the estate. Estate, I say, home. Mm-hmm. Beautiful place. They used to live in the old homestead. This is Bridie Ryan. Lovely lady, has a large family, lives with her son, has a lovely daughter-in-law, several grandchildren now. And Willie O'Dwyer, he's a farmer from Littleton. He came with his 2 daughters. I never did find out their names because I had never met them before, but they're charming children. Someday I'll find out who they are. Now they're coming into the house. Now, very soon now we are going to the hotel in Dublin, where the family gathered upstairs to meet us. There's Willie. Very tall, impressive gentleman. Very nice. Now we're in the hotel in Dublin, and there's Madge. She's Dennis Jr.'s wife. And there's Hillary, her daughter, very athletic, excellent tennis player. And our dear Dennis, Tom's cousin, has just received a papal award. There I am. Behind me, Alice, who is not well, but came anyhow. And there's our dear John. Oh, his mother adores him. Works for Dotson. And it's a joy to the whole family. Everybody loves John. You can see why. Now we're down in the lobby. And this is Raymond's family. And with him, he has Raymond. He is married to Jill, a charming lady. And the 2 children are Barry, who is the older one, and Carl, who is the younger one. Nice children. Really, really. Little Carl especially was charming. They're both very athletic, too. They live near Malahide. So much fun. They spent almost an entire afternoon with us. Oh, very, very nice. That's Jill. Isn't she nice? Oh, it was crazy that day. Now we're with Peter and Susan and their family. They just married, about 5 years ago, and they have 3 charming children. Susan, who is a little girl, and Brian and Colin. That's Susan. Sort of needs a front tooth there, wouldn't you say? And that's Colin, and the older one is Brian. Oh, so nice. There they are, waving to us all. Hi there, Susan, Brian, and Colin. Eileen is a darling. Now, we're with Dennis Jr. and Madge and their family. The youngest one is David. That's a little one, nice little gentleman too. Mark and Hillary we had met before. Both, as I said, the family is very athletic in tournaments, all kinds of tournaments. Tennis and other games. Yeah, that was David and Mark. And this is Hillary, full of fun, charming hairdo. We were feeling rather crazy that day. We spent the whole day together. And back there is Dennis Jr. We're at Ladies' View, and my goodness, what do I see? Leprechaun crossing. There can't be there are leprechauns. There's one. There's one. Get him. Get him. He'll lead you to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. He vanished. I missed my chance again. But anyhow, Ladies' View is beautiful. Oh, dear. My chance to get a pot of gold. films recall some of our happiest years. 28, 29, 36, Wilson Avenue. We were in Ravenswood Manor, and my backyard was full of roses. This was such a lovely house. 2 beautiful picture windows, wide rooms, 8 rooms, very large basement, and an attic that was so big it could have handled an entire flat. Side drive. House was covered with ivy, so beautiful, especially in the fall. Streets were lined with trees. Wilson Avenue was fairly busy, but not too busy. And my flowers were the joy of my life. I had every variety of rose. Any spare moments I had, I spent out in the yard. Michael made a centerpiece for me in the center of the yard. We put a bird bath there and planted roses around that too. Trellis had climbing roses. We had salvias around the center of the bird bath. And of course roses. Salvias were always so pretty, so beautiful red color. And some of the roses, absolutely beautiful. Loved every variety. The house was, quite big and quite a bit of work, so the yard, even though it was work, was still a joy for me. This was a little shrine of St. Francis of Assisi, which was made by one of the people in the Park District and brought home by
Don't go away. There's more.
and some of them were a little larger. Ours, I think, was the largest and the most attractive. I worried a little bit about being able to handle it, but we do it. Some of the pretty hollyhocks. Oh, yes, they were so pretty pink. They came from Grandma Fogarty's yard on Washington Boulevard. There, the whole yard was full of hollyhocks. Ah, there's our Mary joining me in the yard. And there's our Michael. And Grandma Lincoln, she enjoyed the house. See how big the house is? That's the back part. That's a full porch running across the back. A little porch off the kitchen. And some of my roses again. There I was with some of my equipment. Again, from above, porch. Mary took a picture of the fountain, the bird bath. Tom enjoying some of my roses and joining me to wave to you. When we first came here, there was no grass at all. There's the American flag flying bravely from the top floor. Two picture windows were especially impressive at Christmas time. Grandma with her little bird, her little canary. Pam enjoyed being there. She loved the house, and she loved being with the children, and she loved Tom. Kathleen, quite a young beauty. Boys were always attracted to her. What a pretty rose. On one side, we had a lady called Miss Adams, who was a very peculiar lady, so we left her alone. Now, our driveway. You see the side of our house? There are two lovely flower pots there, too. And from inside,